Okay, what you see before you is a copy of Fear and Loathing, Las Vegas. Directed by Terry Gilliam, stars Johnny Depp, Benicio del Toro. A trunk full of drugs, dinosaurs drinking rum, Christina Ricci, and a plot that would descend into hallucinating madness. Stars Johnny Depp as Raoul Duke. Now, for those of you who don't know Raoul Duke is the creation of Hunter S. Thompson. Now, Hunter S. Thompson was a counterculture writer from the 60s, man. Very proactive, man. Very. He wrote a couple of books, some of them featuring Raoul Duke. Raoul Duke was played in the 1985 film Where the Buffalo Roam by Bill Murray. Not as good as Johnny Depp. However, this is one of my favorite films of all time. It combines the corrupting power of Vegas, amplified on amyls, uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, and me, Raoul Duke, covering a press conference, a drug press conference nevertheless, in Vegas. I was sent on assignment to sort of cover a motorcycle race. This is in the mid-70s, man. So, you gotta check it out. I mean, this movie is great. Benicio del Toro, Johnny Depp, trashing hotel rooms, getting stoned beyond belief, taking acid, seeing dinosaurs, demons, and bats that don't exist. This is the movie that's gonna blow you away, man. And it's only getting better. However, what I will tell you about is the Criterion Collection that we have in front of us. Okay, first of all, you see the thing is chock full of supplies, man. It's got a ton of stuff you ought to check out. If this version is still in print, which I hope to God it is. You have the trailers, the TV spots, the materials, the rare materials from Oscar Zeta Acosta. He was the inspiration for Benicio del Toro's character in the film. Very rare stuff, man. Okay, you have Fear and Loathing on the Road to Hollywood. It was a 1978 BBC documentary about how the film was going to Hollywood at that time. The switching of directors made me want to take more acid than anything in the world. Made me mess up, man. Okay, what else do we have? We have excerpts from the 1996 Fear and Loathing audio CD book by Jim Jarmusch and Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton passed away, God bless. He was a great actor. Jim Jarmusch, he directed such independent movies as Slacker. Suggest you check it out. Very avant-garde stuff, man. Okay, what else do we have? We have Hunter S. Thompson correspondence to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp portrays Raoul Duke in the film. Very classy guy, man. Very good. Okay. We have all kinds of stuff that you should check out. And some people are saying, Greg, why are you doing this in character, man? Why don't you just tell me about the film, man? That's what we came to hear. Well, I'll quit the character, but that was my impression of Dr. Hunter S. Thompson playing Raoul Duke, ladies and gentlemen, and it is one of my favorite films of all time. And you know what? Raoul Duke was right. It does contain a ton of extras, and this movie is very trippy. It's psychedelic, to say the very least. And I really love this film. I've read the book, and at the time I read it, they were talking about a movie. They said it was unfilmable due to the hallucinogenic sequences that Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro partake in this movie. But this movie, it's a wild ride at the beginning, and it descends into drug-fueled madness. Having been a fan of Hunter S. Thompson for a while, I will tell you this. His work is not for everybody. He was a counterculture writer, as Raoul Duke just mentioned, but there was something there. He wrote around a time of the 60s and 70s when the drug culture was dying out and at its peak. Basically, the movie And he nailed it pretty much in the commentary here. Basically, the movie is about Raoul Duke. He was sent out on assignment to cover a motorcycle race in 1971. He is accompanied throughout the entire film by his attorney, who plays Benicio del Toro. The attorney's name is Dr. Gonzo. Although very not well referenced in the film, you just see him as, that. It also, like I said, stars Christina Ricci, and it is a psychedelic masterpiece of a movie. The thing that I like about this Criterion version is that it does have everything that you could ever want. It has the TV spots, the inspiration, the rare material on Oscar Zeta Acosta, the inspiration for Dr. Gonzo, is pretty interesting in and of itself. A Hunter Goes to Hollywood, a short documentary by filmmaker Wayne Eving. There's also, I think it's in that spot where Johnny Depp meets they show him meeting the real Hunter S. Thompson. The real Hunter S. Thompson, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, was pretty much whacked out of his mind as much as the fictional character he came up with. Although Hunter S. Thompson is not around anymore, he basically let drugs get the best of him and he committed suicide. As Raoul Duke had mentioned in the previous review, that there was another film made. It was called Where the Buffalo Roam. It starred Bill Murray as as Raoul Duke. The film, it's different in Fear and Loathing. It's not as high kinetic, but it's a good introduction to Raoul Duke. Raoul Duke is the person that would walk in to an office, and by the time he leaves, would cover it with fire extinguisher foam. He would write political sayings on the wall. He would drop acid. I mean, he was just an unpredictable person. Having read the book from start to finish, I can honestly tell you that whenever they said this book was unfilmable and I watched this movie, I thought it went page for page, word for word. It was precisely accurate. Terry Gilliam, who directed this film, did a very good job. It was actually put out by Universal Studios. It probably runs an hour and 19 minutes, and it was actually released in 1998. The Criterion Collection is the one you want to get, especially if you are new or a fan of Hunter S. Thompson. The only reason that I really know about Hunter S. Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, is because that whenever I was in college, I wrote an essay on the Sex Pistols and their, the turbulent time period that they came out of. My English teacher or literature teacher said that I write like Hunter S. Thompson, and I looked at her like, okay, who is this? I thought it was some dude, sitting alone in a cabin, which I wasn't far from the truth, but I didn't know he was as cool as what he was until the suicide thing, don't get me wrong. So she gave me a copy of Where the Buffalo Roam, took it home, I watched it, and I loved it. This movie is a great follow-up. They did a third film called The Rum Diary, but Raoul Duke is not in it. Hunter S. Thompson plays himself, and you get the idea where the drug partaking took and where Raoul Duke's character was birthed from. It was an interesting film, but nothing is as cool as this. There's so many memorable sequences in this thing. It's hard to even pinpoint my favorite part. One of my most favorite parts in this thing, one of the most memorable ones actually, is where Johnny Depp, Raoul Duke, and Dr. Gonzo, Benicio del Toro, are in an elevator. They have just been harassed by a reporter. And Raoul Duke tells Benicio del Toro's character, he goes, "You leave that guy alone, man. He hasn't done anything to you." And Benicio del Toro's character goes, "Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go up there and blast him out of bed with the fire hose, man." It's absurd stuff like that that makes the film click. There's also another memorable sequence where I think Raoul Duke pinpointed it earlier in the commentary when he said about dinosaurs drinking booze. Johnny Depp gets hammered out of his mind and pictures people in this hotel drinking booze, and it's great. Christina Ricci is in there, you know, and she's just for show. One of the funniest things in the film is they actually have the police in Vegas actually converge there to have a drug conference. These two are sitting there dropping acid. It's great. It's a fun ride, and it really showcases not only the comic absurdity of Johnny Depp, but also how he can play this character and stay in character. And it's rumored, and it might actually be on here somewhere, that Hunter S. Thompson approved Bill Murray to play Raoul Duke. He also approved Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp spent time with this guy and thought he was amazing. His political views are, you don't have to be a genius to figure out what he's talking about. He used to have articles in the Rolling Stone magazine, and, you know, up until his death, I was able to understand him. And I'm not a political guy, but I understood what he meant. And, you know, he's just one of my literary heroes. I love Raoul Duke. I love the fact that he could go and be, you know, you wouldn't know what to expect when you deal with him. And Johnny Depp, I think, nails the persona of Raoul Duke very well. And like I said, the Criterion Collection is the way to go. If you don't want to spend all this money and you watch this review, say, within a few days, or by the end of this month or next month, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is streaming live on Netflix, so you can check it out on demand there. It is a fun romp through the drug-filled culture of the 70s. And honestly, I'd watch this thing 2 or 3 times. There's just something hypnotic about it that draws you in. And there is a comic darkness, though, to all these you know, Hunter S. Thompson books, that they almost take you over the edge. You almost feel like the characters are going to be put in some serious jeopardy. However, as literature has proven time and time again, you can always make sure the good guys come out pretty good. I think this version here will probably set you back maybe $24, $25. I'm not really sure. But if you don't want to waste time and you're a literature guy, read the book. And check out some other stuff Hunter S. Thompson has wrote. Because, you know, I will say this. This film is R-rated. There's a lot of drug use, obviously. There's a lot of, well, minor sexual references. But I will say this. It's better than some of the crap that I've seen lately. And I'm not talking about the movie reviews I've just done. I mean, it's better than a lot of, you know, TV shows, you know, they just don't mean anything. Universal Studios has done a wonderful job with this. Terry Gilliam took a book that people said was unfilmable and did it. And like I said, I would suggest picking up Where the Buffalo Roam first. Then watch this. You'll get the Raoul Duke mannerisms, and sometimes at work, they do come out. I'm not going to lie. So, with that being said, here's Raoul Duke. Yeah, man, as I was saying, pick up that video. You will not be disappointed. And I swear to God, if you don't take a screamer or a laugher while watching it, you're on the wrong train, pal. This is Raoul Duke. Out.